Yo, what's good, y'all, man? We got Thor, Love and Thunder, trailer 2, break down things you may have missed. And I probably missed some things, man, because I was just watching, enjoying the trailer. God Butcher look good, though, man. God Butcher look scary. You feel me? You know what I mean? He look good, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm full with that. No cap. The whole trailer, too. The whole trailer funny and everything. No cap. But hey, like it up, sub, and yeah. Let's get it.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk all things major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much, much more. I'm your host, Chris, and today, of course, we need to talk about the Thor Love and Thunder trailer, which dropped last night. Now, this was teased to us. It was not a surprise, but what was a surprise was how exciting this trailer was for me compared to the first one.
Oh, yeah, it was, too, yeah. They said, oh, we're going to drop the trailer Monday. Game 4. Bottom of the heat.
So we're going to go frame by frame through it, but first I do want to talk about my thoughts and my initial reaction to seeing Gore the God Butcher, to getting a better look at Jane Foster's mighty Thor, and many other elements of this movie. Before we move into it, if you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our other major movie and television news updates happening here daily. You can also check me out on other socials, Twitter @TheCultureChris and Instagram @ChrisMRosser. Links to both of these are in the description. So, initially, this trailer is fantastic. I think Gore looks awesome.
Yeah, in my opinion, yeah, he look good though. You know, I thought how they, how to make it, scary and all that shit.
I know already a ton of you are in the comment section typing about how terrible he looks, but
I saw it on time. I'm like, man, y'all complain about every little things, man. Y'all complain about.
Going to explain why I don't think it's as much of a problem as you guys think.
No, it look good. It look good to me though. You know what I mean? I ain't sugarcoat shit. It look good. It look scary. You feel me? Look good.
When we get to that part of the trailer, so don't worry, I have something for you. Just stay around for it so you can hear my idea and my thoughts of what's going to happen here with Gore. Also, I think
a lot of people say he might die and shit. It's all blood, and I'm like, damn, they might kill my nigga, man. They might kill my nigga. Damn, don't die on us, man. Damn.
The movie is very vibrant. Chris Hemsworth is fantastic. Jane Foster looks like she's going to be very exciting in this film as well. So yes, I was very, very pleased with this trailer, but let's move into the frame by frame and see what we noticed, because there were a few things in here that if you blinked, you definitely missed. So this one starts off with a very similar vibe to the first one. It shows us Chris Hemsworth trying to find himself, and it shows us Korg explaining that this is this
Gore funny as hell for
great Norse cosmic.
Well, whoever asked to him, I think we know who asked. Well, of course, that dude funny though. I ain't gonna lie, that motherfucker is funny.
Warrior, I believe they call him a space Viking in the trailer, and that's really cool and very telling. But Korg gets to this whole story, and he eventually gets to the introduction of Jane. But before that happens, we see a little montage of Thor getting healthy, figuring himself out. We see the Guardians of the Galaxy, all stuff we've already previously known. Nothing too exciting just yet. Again, we see New Asgard with the cruise ships, the golf, all of the tourist stuff going on, which I don't think the Asgardians are ultimately going to be too happy with, and I don't think Thor is too happy with either. We see the montage of him working out and actually pulling at the Guardians of the Galaxy ship, with them putting pressure against him. And
how do we develop Members Mark products you love? By collaborating with thousands of...
He's still prevailing. So he gets pretty fit, and we definitely see that towards the end of this trailer. And we've heard this coming from other actors and Chris Hemsworth himself, who said this was the most fit he has ever been for Thor or ever in his life. And it really
for real? Damn.
Is showing, which is always fun and is always awesome. Then we get to the end of Korg's monologue, where he's going on and on about Thor, where he talks about Jane, and we see Mjolnir, which Thor thinks he's getting. He reaches out for it, and it goes immediately back to Jane Foster. This was how the first trailer ended. We see these black creatures running around who they're fighting here together. This is Thor and Jane's first introduction to each other, as we can see and as we saw in the first trailer well. We do get a interesting look at Thor with his helmet on. I say this because there is something kind of off about this scene. Now, whether it's the CGI or whether they added this scene with the helmet in it and it's kind of been changed in order to better suit whatever they're trying to portray in
Yeah, people say I don't know what a lot of people saying they ain't like the helmet.
the trailer. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm not necessarily worried that the CGI in the movie isn't going to be well put together or overall good. I think the movie's going to be very visually pleasing when it's all said and done. I just think that something's going on here, whether they're changing something in the scene for the trailer or something just hasn't been completed. Again, not too worried about that. Jane and Thor meet, and it's a very, very fun introduction. She then says, how long has it been? 3-4 years, and Thor gives an exact date, which was actually in the 8 years. So it seems like maybe Natalie Portman's Jane has been blipped, or was blipped.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that.
I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but she says it's been about 4 years or so, and he says it's been 8. And that 5-year gap from the blip might be that time that has been missing in the middle. Now from here we seem to jump around a fair amount. We go from being on Mount Olympus or seeing Gore to different places where Thor has adventured to versus where Gore's been visiting, and I say visiting even though mostly he's just been killing gods. So let's talk about the first look at Gore the God Butcher. Now the original thing we see is him grabbing what would be in the comics the all-black Necrosword, which, as you may or may not know, comes from the god Null, the god of symbiotes, the god of venom. So there are some connecting pieces here that we may or may not see in the movie, although we do see what seems to be very symbiote-driven looking tentacles in the very next shot. Now, right after that, we get what is our first full look at Gore the God Butcher. And I know what your complaints are going to be. It's not very comic book accurate. He looks like Voldemort. Oh, no, no, no. Lots of complaints, lots of complaints. But bear with me.
I mean, hey, I fuck with the motherfucker. I fuck with the shit.
With this idea. As we see throughout the trailer, Gore the God Butcher makes several appearances. And each time he looks a little bit different. He seems to be more beaten up. He seems to have more black kind of tarnishing his body and his fingertips. He has scars on his face. He's gone through a lot, and he's being either possessed by the all-black Necrosword, being corrupted by the all-black Necrosword, or just being beaten up in battle. I think eventually towards the end of the movie, whether this is Gore's only movie or not, we don't really know, but I think towards the end of the movie, Gore will get more and more of a comic book appearance. Now, they didn't show this to us in the trailer because it will be a really cool reveal in the movie. They gave us a look at Gore during the earlier parts of the movie when he still has some form of a human figure. Now, I know he's an alien and he's not a human, but I think come the end of the movie, we will see a...
Are we gonna see him like this? Nah, I doubt it.
More complete...
You gonna see him like that, man?
Gore the God Butcher look, where maybe he will...
So we gonna see him like that, man?
We'll have some of those tentacles that he sees. We'll have a hooded figure. We'll have a very ugly figure. And that's something that Marvel is planning on giving us in the movie. Now, that's my assumption. If you look at him here, when he says all gods must die or all gods will die, he doesn't have any of the scars. He doesn't have the black corrosion on his fingers.
Oh, yeah.
So I think this will actually be one of the earlier...
Yeah, it looked like that's the early of him. But then we go into the dark side of him when he
looks, and then this first look where he's taking off the hood is definitely later on in the film. You can see his fingers have changed, he's covered in scars, his lips are oozing black, and I think eventually we will end up getting a more comic book look. So I think he looks really, really good as is. I don't necessarily, as a fan of the movies, as a fan of the comics, need a perfect comic origin. I just get a really cool character who can give that menacing, terribly evil vibe that I think Gore the God Butcher deserves. So we'll see. But moving on, I am excited for Gore the God Butcher in the film. So now we can go over to Mount Olympus. And like I mentioned, this trailer doesn't really go in order. It kind of jumps around back and forth. But here's what we've learned from the scenes that they have given us. It seems Thor and company are there in hiding and undercover. That's why Korg, Valkyrie, Lady Thor, and Thor himself are all wearing these kind of tunics hiding who they are. It's possible for many different reasons that this is happening. Off the top of my head, the best guess would be, well, he's an Asgardian. They're from Olympus, the Greek gods versus the Norse gods. It's probably some bad blood between Zeus and Odin, something to that nature, but they seem to need help. It's possible that Thor already knows now about Gore the God Butcher and is coming to Zeus to either warn him or ask for guidance on what is he supposed to do to stop this guy who's going around killing all of his friends and different gods and even different planets, as we see Gore the God Butcher's power as he takes out this moon, this asteroid, this planet, this location. He's a very, very powerful character. So they go into hiding, is my assumption, to get to Zeus, and some type of event is happening here. Well, eventually Thor is brought onto center stage, and as you see at the very end of the trailer,
Charmin Ultra Soft is twice as absorbent, so you can use less.
Monster spill? Quick, the quicker picker-upper, Bounty.
they try to find out who he is by saying, well, let's see who you are under the disguise. They flick off all of his clothes.
Oh, dang, you went too hard though, man. Show everything, goddamn.
As we see, Chris Hemsworth is super jacked, which we all knew was coming, but wow, awesome transformation. And then, you know, we've learned a little bit more about Thor and Jane, and we see Jane's abilities as she fights there in the same center of Asgard. And overall, it looks like there's a very cool romantic connection, at least that is being teased. Now, the big question I think we're all asking ourselves is Thor gonna die? Is Jane gonna die? Are they both gonna live?
I think both of them gonna live, type shit.
Gonna be Thor following this? Will Jane remain Lady Thor? What's the big question? And I think that's something we're just gonna have to wait to see.
We gotta wait till the end credits scene type shit.
Because honestly, any of those combinations are 100% possible. Jane and Thor could have a happy ending. Jane and Thor could both remain alive but still not get together because it's just not meant to be. Thor could die trying to save Jane. Jane could die trying to save Thor. It could be a whole mess. But when it comes out, that's going to be one of the big reveals of the movie, and that's not something we're really going to get an answer for in these trailers. Now, on top of seeing Gore the God Butcher and seeing Jane and Thor run around Mount Olympus, we also see Thor and Valkyrie specifically fighting against Gore the God Butcher in a very peculiar location where everything's kind of black and white, where
black and white.
Everything has this dark hue to it except for Thor and Valkyrie, who...
Yeah, I like how they did a black and white and then they make them light, you know, in color. That shit fire. Fire additional, you know, fire edits and shit.
If you've noticed in the trailer, Valkyrie is actually fighting with a lightning bolt, which she either stole off of Zeus,
she probably stole
or Zeus
it.
gave her to help them
she
on
probably
the
stole
quest
that
to kill
motherfucker.
Gore the God Butcher. Regardless, this area and this action sequence is both visually pleasing and
that's what I'm
super,
saying.
super intriguing. One, I don't know why everything's black and white, other than maybe this is a place where the sword that he has is summoning its power. It's potentially possible that we won't see Null, and there won't be a connection to Null in this because of the complications of the symbiotes, of Sony owning some of these characters, and not 100% knowing where the property lies for Null and for the Symbiote King and for all of that storyline. So there is a possibility that the sword will have a different origin for the purposes of the MCU due to property rights and who owns what character and who owns what names. But that's something we'll figure out when the movie comes out as well. One more scene that definitely needs a little bit of mentioning is this scene in a cave that seemingly has some really cool stuff in the background. We can see the Living Tribunal, the Watcher,
They got everybody in there.
Lady Death, and a few other statues behind that I don't think I could possibly ID. Now, the Living Tribunal, the Watcher, and Lady Death, 100%, that's who we are seeing here. The other cosmic entities could be anybody. And I think the middle statue might be destroyed or defaced or eroded over time. And then the statue at the very end, just not really sure who it is, and I don't want to try to make any wild guesses without confirmation. During my live stream, a lot of people were saying they saw Kang in this. It's not Kang.
I don't think Kang in that bitch. I don't think Kang in that motherfucker.
It's not going to be Doom. It's going to be some cosmic entity. So maybe we would see Eternity or some other characters. Maybe even Ego is the one in the middle there, even though he's dead in the MCU. He was a god for a very...
Hey, what you say? Wait,
even what? Ego is the one...
Ego? Who Ego? Oh, that motherfucker from Galaxy Guardian. Some shit.
One in the middle there, even though he's dead in the MCU, he was a god for a very, very long time, and these statues
that motherfucker was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. That motherfucker eliminating the motherfucker. he's like getting crazy at the end. No cap.
Death. So those are kind of some guesses, but we are definitely in some type of hall of cosmic entities, and I'm very curious to see how this plays out for us as well. Overall, the tones of this trailer are fun. We definitely are seeing a lot of influence from James Gunn and Guardians of the Galaxy. And of course, Taika Waititi pulling his own humor and his own fun like we saw in Thor Ragnarok. And then there will be some very serious tones. This villain is pretty bad. He's pretty evil.
He got some fun shit and he got some serious shit all mixing in. You know what I mean? Type shit in the movie.
And he's definitely full of tragedy, which is going to come out on screen. I think Christian Bale has a awesome surprise for us waiting.
Yeah, what I'm saying, God Butcher's good. We got them motherfucking groups that gonna complain and shit. You feel me? But they complain without friends too. They playing everything, man. You gotta that's that group. No cap.
with this
Know what I
character
mean?
in the movie.
So-
Lots of different things to uncover
Hey, I
still.
vote with Guy Bush. You feel me? So, yeah.
What's going on with Asgard? Will it move somewhere else? Will it change? Or will
Nah,
it
that scene right there was funny as hell. They all fall down and shit. Nah, I fuck with that.
continue to do tourism?
Oh,
And what's
shit.
going to happen with Thor? Who's
Oh, yeah, there's some people say they probably want to censor. Because I remember last time they uncensored some shit on the trailer. And then they didn't on the movie. So they might do the same shit.
done being a hero and wants something more? I can't wait to find out, and we will be learning more and uncovering more as we wait for the release day of July 8th this year. So
Yeah.
be sure to subscribe to the
Couple
channel and
months.
turn on notification
Couple-
bells so you don't miss out on any of our daily uploads.
Yeah,
And I'll
yeah,
catch you guys
couple
all in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.
Yeah, but hey, fire trailer, man, from yesterday. Fire breakdown. Like it up, sub, y'all. And, yeah. Guy Bush is fire, though. He's scary. You feel me? No cap. Shout out to, I got his name and shit, but yeah, shout out to him. No cap. But, the Guy Bush that played the character type shit. I know his name, but it ain't in my head right now. No cap. But, yeah, alright. Peace.